Hi, this is Maria with my daily thoughts. Today I want to tell you just a little bit about this new podcast that I recently discovered thanks to my friend and colleague Scott. The podcast is called One Insight by Rich Litvin, a famous coach and author and mostly known as a coach. So he coaches people right on the podcast, right on air. And while listening to him, there were a couple of things that I got out of for myself, a couple insights that I received. There were a few, but I'd like to talk about two today. The first of them is really something that is there digesting, I guess, in my background. It's space is where miracles happen. So in the midst of our busy lives, if we're always doing something, if we're always chasing something, there isn't enough space. There isn't enough space for miracles to happen. So to get to the next level, to get to something qualitatively different, we need to allow for space in our life, in our schedule, in our time. This was one. And the second one was something about goals. This is something I haven't looked at it that way. But it says that Rich is convinced that goal is not a destination. A goal is something that where you're coming from. So a goal is something you're coming from. So something you define by yourself by this goal. And when you associate yourself with this big goal, your entire attitude changes. When you associate yourself with something so audacious, so big, so scary, you act differently, you think differently, and you approach your work, your projects, your efforts differently. So this is something that I'm really trying to internalize, both with the space and with the goals, and see where that takes me, and see where, see the changes that kind of thinking produces. I like the podcast. It's quite new. It has only several episodes so far, but I like listening to it both as a coaching client and as a coach, checking off different things that he does while talking to people. So if you want to see the example of what coaching is, One Insight by Rich Litvin is a good example. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.